just need, seeing the need, helping homes. It was just volunteer until the government was beginning to pay for it. Typical government, you organize it and then they take it over.
Doris, of course, was here long before I got here, quite a few years ago from that, and she probably got to take lots of people to the hospital and look after lots of people. There was just Lorna and I to begin with, and the rest of them all have come. We just volunteer, yeah. Cedar did marvels. First of all, we didn't have an office to begin with. She managed to get those people to the jobs that they were to go to. She got paid, but I think she didn't get paid for all the things she did because she did multi-things.
Well, I guess I started in 1980? I can't remember. Something when it started with Cedar.
I loved that people could be helped to stay in their own home if that's what they wanted. And I loved Hornby and the kind of people that lived here. Especially I loved the older people because they got so much to teach you and to tell you. You felt like you could go and really make a difference every day that you were there. You were doing something that left them happy, sort of.
You become not a stranger. You know, you start off, well, they've seen you around anyhow because you're on the island, but when you come into their house, you're a stranger, and it's often taken a lot to bring them to the point where they have to admit that they need somebody.
My first experience with the home support people came when Robert was having troubles with dementia. He was evaluated as needing a little bit of help, so we got some of that. It made all the difference in the world because here were a new group of people who could come in and listen to his stories. And he was a great raconteur, and the girls all loved him, and it just worked out so greatly for him and for me, because that gave me respite from being 24 hours on the job looking after him.
And that's what's so rewarding about it. I mean, you hear people's stories, and it's often quite inspiring, you know, and yeah, it's a close relationship you have with them.
My eyes gave out on me eventually, and I'm legally blind, so I get a lot of help from the home support people who work with me, and I'm very grateful for them. We've got a great rapport between us because we know each other's ways. Kathy, who's with us today, is a great help in the cooking department because I don't want to slice my fingers up, and I've lost the strength that I used to have. And I've got a great deal of help with walking and exercising and things. I get a shower, just so many other things, you know. It's hard to explain all of them, but they're an integral part. And they're my friends as well, and they keep me sort of alive and interested in things.
Home support workers actually the first person that'll notice the changes if somebody's living alone and doesn't have family around, and can bring it to the attention of the doctor or somebody, or the family, you know, that sort of thing, because they see them so regularly.
When we first started working, I remember having unlimited time and unlimited, there were no stipulations about what you could or couldn't do. You'd just go and you'd spend the day with somebody doing whatever. And that was really nice because you had lots of time and you could do whatever you were allowed. And I feel like all I've seen is it get cut and cut and cut. There's less and less we can do. There's less we're allowed to do. There's less we're given time to do.
We have clients who have Parkinson's, and you walk in and they're in a full-on Parkinson's spell and can't move for 45 minutes as you're slowly extending limbs and massaging and trying to get mobility back before you can even think about dinner, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. In a perfect world, you can whisk in and whisk out and everything's great, but it's a constant daily thing where you encounter a scenario where this is going to take a heck of a lot more time. And, you know, and it does, and you do, and you don't get paid for it, but you can't, you know, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do?
A lot of our caregivers wouldn't have necessarily gone down this path, but because of the need in the community and, you know, their hearts, they decided to take this on and have made a career out of it and have ended up being absolutely fantastic, which I think is actually is why we're doing so well with what we do. If you talk to our clients, you know, you can see that. They'll tell you that, you know, our caregivers are unlike anywhere else on this planet, I would say.
You know, this isn't town. We don't have takeout pizza. We don't have Meals on Wheels. We don't have taxis or buses to take people to restaurants. Sometimes the meal, to be able to prepare a meal for somebody, to be able to start their wood stove, I mean, that's not something that in the city they would even consider being necessary.
I love my job, so I think that helps, right? It's incredibly rewarding. I've developed really nice relationships with people, and I feel like I can bring just a little spark of sunshine into somebody's day. And when I see them light up because I'm there and it's made a difference, it really makes it the reason you're there, right? So I think that gratification fuels me personally and keeps me happy to go to work and excited to go to work and to look forward to it.
Coming to Hornby and Denman and working for the Society has been the highlight of my career because the care that's provided is unlike anywhere else. Our community health workers are so dedicated to the work that they're doing. These are our neighbors and our friends and our loved ones that we're caring for.
My sister, at the very end of '08, got a diagnosis of Alzheimer's. Patty would take off, it would be harder, she got extremely paranoid. The home care people said to me, we're throwing the breaker at night so she can't get that stove on. Well, it's just so elementary. Patty would never in her life, even though she was my brilliant sister, know how to put a breaker back.
The idea of keeping somebody in their home isn't just coming in and making them a meal in 5 minutes and cleaning up and getting out of there within the 5-minute time frame. That just isn't something that's going to be successful or sustainable for that client.
In September, I'll never forget, September 27, 2014, Bob had a major bleed into his left frontal lobe, and that they were preparing to operate, and that this was a life-threatening incident. Look at the difference between Patty and Bob. You know, just night and day, yeah. And also their requirements. Patty could walk till the end. Yeah, like it's just, yeah, there's really a lot of versatility demanded. This job is so underrated. People making rules about it who have no idea what's required. When Patty got her diagnosis at UBC, I was driving her back to Maya's house and she cried. Patty hardly ever cried, but she really cried. It was just heartbreaking. She said to me, "Don't let them take me away." And I said, "Okay, Patty, I'll do my very best, you know." And when she died, wow, you know, I said, "Patty, we did it. We did it. We all did it together."
Thank you for the phone calls, the flowers, the dinners and the cards. Thank you for the kind words, black humor and the plums from your yard. I opened up and dropped them in. I felt the love run down my chin. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.